I didn't just get the cure to L cancer. I got the cure to L everything.
Doughnut revenge.
I'll be back. And we're back. The cast of The Little Mermaid has been revealed.
And we have opinions about it.
This is Doughnut Revenge, and I'm Jeremy Lynch.
And I'm Lauren DeVries.
Okay, they're remaking The Little Mermaid, as they are with many Disney films.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about that
We're
in a
going to
little
talk about all of that today. I'm making wild hand motions. We're going to talk about all of that today.
We're going to talk about all the things. But first,
Yes.
let's talk about the thing, Little Mermaid, and growing up with that movie.
Yeah. We loved Little Mermaid. Both of us. Jeremy and I both loved Little Mermaid.
We're not supposed to agree on things.
Well, I love Little Mermaid more than you. I'm going to continue. Whenever you say that, I'm just going to say that I do it more than you. Whatever it
I
is.
say we're not supposed to agree on things because we are arch enemies. But at the end of the day, we're arch
Isn't
enemies.
that what we're just throwing each other off the scent about? Maybe I actually hate Little Mermaid.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, okay. But for you to understand how much I do love Little Mermaid, when I was in second grade, I dressed up for Halloween as Ariel. And it was really cute. I had this bright red wig that kept getting in my eyes, even though I had a little plastic flower accessory for the bangs. And the funniest part about this costume was that it was the green sheer mermaid scales.
Uh-huh.
But it was it was a very tight dress. It was one sleeve.
It was
Have you ever accidentally put both of your legs into the same pant leg and been really confused for a moment? That's what it was all day. I had to hobble around and squirm the whole day.
So they tried to turn a mermaid tail into a costume.
Yeah, it was just a really tight dress, but all the way down to my ankles.
I feel
just
like
had to,
this was
waddle.
a safety hazard at some point.
Maybe. I mean, if there had been a fire drill, I would have been screwed.
I mean, then again, this was the 90s, and safety
Yeah.
was optional.
Safety. That's a great way to describe the 90s. The 90s. Safety is optional. It's like a tagline. All right, tell us about The Little Mermaid. You're a guy, so did you like Little Mermaid?
Actually, what the weirdest thing was with all the guys I grew up with, The Little Mermaid was still cool. And I remember arguments about whether or not we could watch Princess Bride.
Of all things.
Which I feel like is way more of
The whole point of Princess Bride is that it's not a girly movie. There's a whole scene dedicated to that.
Yes. But The Little Mermaid got a pass.
All right, I guess.
I would
Do
go to
you two also want to be part of the world of something else and find your true love and lose your voice, I guess? Is that a dream of little boys?
All about those forbidden loves. Actually, no, that's something that we really don't get. Like when The Shape of Water came out, I was like, I really don't get this movie.
You were like, what is it?
And all the women I talked to were like, oh, it was so
Forbidden love.
forbidden love.
We've got the market cornered on that one. Forbidden love.
All right, the moment everyone has been waiting for.
The casting.
The casting. This movie has some interesting casting choices, and we're going to build up to them. The most interesting we're going to save for last.
Yes.
But first,
the one that we had the most opinions on.
everyone's waiting to hear who's going to be Ariel.
We all know who's going to be Ariel. It's been a whole big thing. Halle Bailey. Not Halle Berry. Halle Bailey. And I know that there's been a lot of backlash about, The Little Mermaid not being a white redhead, but I'm here for it.
This doesn't bother me.
No.
If they,
I think she's going to do great. I like her. She's
I
cute.
mean, it's not like they're changing Mulan to be Mexican or something,
Or white,
or white. Yeah, exactly.
as is the case usually.
Or they're not changing.
I'll say it.
Well, there's also been times where, in a comic book movie, they'll change the race of somebody to try to be more inclusive, and I'm all about inclusivity.
Oh, yeah.
But when you're changing a character, I'm just gonna come out and say it. In Teen Titans, first of all, I hate everything about the live action series. I just want it to burn. I want to delete it off the internet.
We have a lot of feelings about live action movies today.
But Starfire as Black just didn't work for Starfire. And even if you were gonna go that route, you could have picked an actress who was more like Starfire in personality, in shape, and everything else. I'm gonna get backlash for saying that. Can we just edit this whole part out about Teen Titans?
No.
Okay.
Let's move on. Scuttle. I'm really excited about this actually because Scuttle is going to be played by Awkwafina, which I loved Awkwafina in Crazy Rich Asians and in Ocean's 8. I'm really excited for the energy that she has. And like I'm excited for her to be Scuttle because Scuttle is just like flying around being ridiculous the whole time.
I really feel like she could be a good Scuttle.
Yeah, same.
Harry Styles as Prince Eric.
Be still, every heart of every teen girl. You know, Harry Styles.
He looks like Prince Eric.
Yeah.
Like it's like if you made a photorealistic version of the
Okay, not exactly. He's not a carbon copy of Prince Eric. All right.
It's pretty close.
No.
Okay. Well, you had a crush on him growing up.
I
And
did,
I did not.
One Direction wasn't big until I was like already 17.
No,
so.
I'm talking about Prince Eric from The Little Mermaid.
Oh, Prince Eric. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes. Anytime I do a BuzzFeed quiz that's like, which prince would you want? I'm like, always Eric. Every time. Sometimes I will veer off for Prince Naveen because I thought he was really fun. But like, mostly it's Eric.
Okay, this is where it gets controversial.
This is where we have opinions. I guess we didn't have opinions until now. This is where we have deeper opinions. In the water. Get it? Deep water opinions.
Okay, you're just trying too hard. Don't hurt yourself here. Okay, Prince...
We did Prince Eric.
We did. Ursula the Sea Witch
Yes, everyone's favorite half octopus bad guy.
will be portrayed by none other than Academy Award nominee Melissa McCarthy.
I am not feeling it. I feel like she's going to make it funny. And I don't want... Ursula's not supposed to be funny. She's supposed to be scary. I was definitely scared by that scene when she gets like 75 feet tall and starts stirring the ocean.
Yeah.
Like, that was terrifying.
Okay, and here's how I feel about this. I actually think Melissa McCarthy could pull this off. Like, have you seen her in Can You Ever Forgive Me?
I mean, now I have.
Yes, I made you watch the
You
trailer
did.
before this podcast. She has a lot more range than she ever really gets to do in movies. Like she's not just the funny, person who falls over and haha, it's funny that lady.
I guess I will hold out my judgment until I see it, but I already have a bad gut feeling about it.
Here's my thing, okay? I 100% believe she can do it, but I'm 80% sure that that's not the direction they're going to go in. I am 80% sure that the director of this movie is going to keep to the funny Melissa McCartney, which is not the right Melissa
I guess we'll
McCarthy
have to
for this
see.
movie. So we'll wait and see. If they do go that route and have her play like an actual dark and scary Ursula,
I would be down to see that.
I really think she can do it.
I'm worried that's not where they're going to go.
She can
though.
do it.
I'm worried.
I would actually cast her for that role.
Let me go on the record as saying I'm voicing my concerns. Let the record state
Let the record
that
show.
my concerns have been voiced. They're verbally out there. All right. And last but not least, King Triton. We have the news confirmed on IMDb of who this is. And let me just say, when I heard Halle Bailey was going to be Ariel, I was like, oh, get Idris Elba to be King Triton. That was what I wanted. And
she wanted a shirtless
not-
Idris Elba.
Don't call me out like this, Jeremy. Stop. All right, you know how I said I wasn't having a crush on Harry Styles? I do have a crush on Idris Elba. So let's
You and
talk
50%
about...
of the human race.
Yes,
And
I thought
that-
you meant 50% of women, and I was about to be like, why 50% of women? The human race, yes.
Yes,
yeah, I agree.
50% of the
Yes.
human race. And not all of that statistic is women.
All right, but yeah, oh, that's fair. Yeah, that's right. That's good. It should be more like 75% of the whole population. That's what it should be like. And the
He's Black
and the
Superman.
other 25% is wrong. That's how I feel about that.
I'm wrong for not having a crush on Idris Elba?
Yes, goodbye.
Okay, but it's not Idris Elba. Who is it?
It's Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem. He should have been Ursula.
I would have paid a lot of money to see that. Okay, here's the thing though. I don't have a problem with Javier Bardem's acting. Like, he's great. I'm here for that. I just am concerned about the racial dynamics of the casting. That's what I'm concerned about.
Hey, it's my job to be racially insensitive on this show.
I'm not being insensitive. I'm pointing out the inconsistencies. He's her father. I'm pointing out inconsistencies.
Maybe they're gonna be CGI like The Lion King, and we'll never actually see them.
I feel like CGIing race is a bad idea. feel like we shouldn't venture there as a society.
Probably not. Okay, I just can't get past him not being scary and like
That's true. You know, like he was in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean, or
Yeah,
the only reason I ever considered seeing that movie was because he was in it, and I loved him in No Country for Old Men.
Yeah. He's good at being scary, but now he gets to be a dad. I mean, he is kind of scary in some scenes, I guess.
So
when he gets mad at her.
Or this could be a totally different side of him.
Who
Leave
knows?
your opinion in the comment section below.
Tell us what you think about Javier Bardem.
We're going to tell you what we think about remaking every Disney movie ever in live action.
That's right, because that seems to be where Disney's going. Seems to be what the current trend of Disney is.
Okay, and there are obviously fans who are not happy about this.
Let's just talk about nobody likes Lion King as much as we did. No one.
What's up with that?
The CGI lions are great.
Were we wrong about that movie?
I don't think that we were wrong about that movie. I think everybody else was wanting a reason to not like it.
I also think, from what I'm hearing from people, is they wanted it to be like the cartoon with music and everything changing
emotions.
colors and.
I mean, we already discussed how we feel about emotions on the
Yes.
lions, and I think our opinion is pretty valid. But they wanted like babyface, sad-eye Simba.
Right.
You know, it's just not what we're doing.
I believe the animals.
We've already
I believe
discussed.
the animals.
Check out episode
But-
2 if you want to hear more about our feelings about emotions in the CGI animals.
But here's
we don't need to rehash that.
But here's the thing: there are fans who are not happy about the remaking of these
And
movies.
not even just Lion King. Dumbo and Aladdin also came out this year, and they've made a lot of money.
Yes, and here's the thing: fans complain, but they're still paying to see these movies. At the end of the day, Disney has made over $2.3 billion on these 3 movies that came out this year. And the year's only half over.
I know.
Okay,
That number is going to just keep going.
so they're not going to stop anytime soon.
No.
They're not done. I mean, they still have Maleficent, Queen of Evil coming out.
Okay.
Which is
All right.
another
Sidebar.
live action. What?
Sidebar. Maleficent does not count as a remake. That's a retelling.
It
That's
to-
not a
it
remake
totally-
of Sleeping Beauty.
It's totally part of the
It's
whole
a
remake
retelling.
arm. Like
It is not.
like the arm of the
It is not.
the arm of the Disney company that's doing all these remakes. It's the same part of the
I
company.
stand
It's
by
the same
this
people.
opinion that it's not a remake of Sleeping Beauty. It's a retelling slash. It's like how Wizard of Oz and Wicked are 2 different things, even though they're just kind of 2 sides of the same coin. That's how I feel about Maleficent. It's not Sleeping Beauty.
Fair enough. But I think Mike Iger would disagree with you.
I don't care. Let the record state.
I'm still counting it from in terms of monetary earnings for Disney for live action remakes. I'm counting Maleficent as part of that.
Well, I'm not a numbers person, so you do whatever you want with your numbers.
2.3 billion, and the number is still growing, and Maleficent counts.
Maleficent wasn't factored into the year $2.3 billion, so.
It will be by the end of the year. And don't get confused. I did not like the first Maleficent, and I'm not really looking forward to
But
this
you're
one
still
either.
defending it.
I am defending its place as a live action
canon.
remake.
Okay.
Like in it's a Disney.
We're gonna disagree on that one. We're just gonna disagree on that one.
Why do you think that people don't like these remakes?
So.
And how do
speaking-
you feel about it?
I have a complicated opinion. Speaking as a 90s kid, my mom was a little obsessed with collecting Disney movies, so we have all of the VHSs of the original Disney movies. Like, all of them. I'm not kidding. And we just were so into Disney, and I feel like there's a nostalgia factor, obviously. And I feel like you lose some of the nostalgia when you see a way it's done differently with the CGI or with the newer animation styles, that now that scene or that image is forever different for you.
So you don't feel like there's the freedom to create a new artistic interpretation of a story that's already been told.
No, you can do whatever you want. Like, freedom is not the problem here. I just think that we don't need to make this the next branch of Disney movies. It was fine when we were kind of just doing like one, like we were like, oh, we're remaking Beauty and the Beast. By the way, we'll get to that later. By the way, we're remaking Beauty and the Beast. That's cool. That's fine.
It's
But
not
like,
one.
no. But like, yeah. But now it's every movie. Are we just gonna keep going? Are we
This
just
is-
gonna remake the whole Disney collection? And now my VHS childhood means nothing?
This is going to be as big as Marvel movies.
I don't like
There's-
that. We don't need to redo every movie live action. And what happened to original content? Like,
What do you mean original content?
I mean, you remember when Disney gave us Emperor's New Groove? Where did that come from? And it was amazing.
It was.
We
I
need
love that
more
movie.
like good, and like Pixar gave us Up. Up wasn't a remake of anything. We need those good, Finding Nemo. Where did that
Mm-hmm.
come from? It was great. We need original content and not we need a good balance.
But the argument can be made that these movies were remakes in the first place. I mean,
of
Snow
like
White.
what, Hans Christian Andersen?
Yeah. I mean, these were stories that were already told and known in the popular society. I mean, people already knew the story of Hercules. People already knew the story of the Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And also, there's this whole idea out there that Hollywood is just out of original ideas. And that's not the case. Listen,
I'm not going that far. I'm not saying that every person in Hollywood is not having an original idea. I'm just saying that we need a balance.
well, here's the problem, okay? It's not about how many ideas the writers in Hollywood have, because they have a ton of ideas that just don't get greenlit. For every movie you see, there's at least 100 scripts that didn't get greenlit.
That's so many scripts. Wow.
And that might be, that might be a conservative estimate. There might be a lot more than that. But here's the thing. What people don't realize is the reason that they're just remaking things is you have $100 million to spend on a movie. And you have a responsibility to your investors as a movie producer to make sure that that money gets a good return. So do you go for a guaranteed $2 billion thing like Star Wars? I mean, even The Last Jedi made $2 billion, which we as fans all agree was pretty bad.
But we all went to see it.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you all heard
which-
about how I didn't go see it. But I
Got to go
digress.
back and watch that episode. But to my point, if you make a bad Star Wars movie, you still get $2 billion. If you make something original with your $100 million, you're rolling the dice.
Taking a risk.
Yes, you're taking a risk with investors' money, which you have a responsibility and obligation to give them a return. So do you go for the sure thing or do you roll the dice? And when you're feeling that pressure, I feel like most people would go for the sure thing, which is what we're seeing in Hollywood. We're seeing a lot of remakes, we're seeing a lot of sequels, and Disney kind of has the monopoly here on the remake business.
That's true.
And I think what fans have against these remakes is that a lot of fans are feeling like it's an insult to their childhood. It's a slap in the face to the thing that they loved growing up.
Expand on that.
Okay, so the example here I'm going to use is Beauty and the Beast. And
Just like I said, we'd get back there. Talk about Beauty and the Beast.
okay,
Tell me.
and
I went to go see that in theaters. I liked it.
I feel like some listener to this podcast is going to murder me in my sleep because
Good, you'll be doing me a favor.
I did not like this movie. I saw it in the theater for the first time. I took a girl who had seen it 3 times already. She loved it. She cried every time she saw it. And
Sounds like me.
I sat there just completely unmoved by this movie, which was a remake of arguably one of the best animated films ever made. It's the only animated feature film that ever won Best Picture.
Which is pretty good. Which is really good.
Yeah. So not only did kids love it, and parents love it, and critics love it, but the majority of professional filmmakers in America thought it was the best movie made that year.
Yeah, which is nobody's debating
Yes.
the goodness of the Disney,
So you
or of
compare
the
that
Beauty and the Beast.
with the live action Beauty and the Beast and everything. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The thing people say they like are the new songs, the new scenes, which I have nothing against.
Which is kind of like how we felt about Lion King. The things that they added were good.
Mm-hmm. But in Beauty and the Beast, the things that they kept didn't have the impact that they had in the original version. Mm-hmm. Like the first time Belle sees the Beast, that scene just felt powerless to me. It just...
Which is kind of what I was talking about with this nostalgia factor. That's the scene is kind of ruined now.
Yeah, you have this thing that you loved growing up.
Especially if it's a big scene.
Yeah.
A pivotal moment.
So I guess at the end of the day, the question is, I think the question we started off with is, should Disney continue to remake our childhood movies? And...
Well, Disney's not really going to listen to our opinion. But I guess our opinion is a little complicated.
I guess I guess, does it matter if they should or not? They're doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
And sometimes they get it right, and sometimes they get it wrong.
Yep.
And they're going to.
And we have high hopes for Mulan. We've seen the teaser trailer for Mulan.
Yes!
And from what I've heard, the things that they're taking out or adding in are pretty culturally respectful, which I'm all about.
So they're taking out a talking dragon because it's not culturally
because they couldn't get Eddie Murphy, and it's useless without Eddie Murphy. That's not confirmed. That's just me talking about Eddie Murphy.
My opinion, though, is a live-action remake of Mulan doesn't need music, and it doesn't need songs. It doesn't need a talking dragon. I think in this case, I can see, like, this is that movie and this is this movie, if that makes sense.
Well, let's see where it goes. But here's a question I'm going to pose to you. If you absolutely had to pick a movie for Disney to remake in live action, whether that's like live action CGI or whether that's live action like people, gun to your head, what do you pick?
I pick Robin Hood, the Fox movie. Hear me out. I think they should use the same technology they used in The Lion King to make them look
anthropomorphic foxes. They have to be wearing the clothes.
They have to be anthropomorphic. Okay, it can't be like The Lion King in that regard.
So good, but with real foxes.
They have to look real.
That would be perfect.
Okay, how about you?
Atlantis, an untapped gold mine, in my opinion. Atlantis.
That could be really cool to see in live action.
Also, for those of you who think I answered that too quickly, it's been on my mind for a while, so I did answer that too quickly.
But would that feel like Aquaman though?
No. Have you even seen Atlantis?
Yeah.
It's not all about the water.
Okay. Time for Lauren's Harry Potter thought of the day.
Presented without context or defense, Hufflepuffs are not useless, or doormats, or throwaways of the Harry Potter world. We are awesome. So I need my fellow Hufflepuffs to like and comment and tell the world that we are amazing.
Well, as a Gryffindor, I agree with that statement.
I really thought you were going to say something I was going to have to punch you for. You guys are just going to hear like a loud smack.
Well, as a Gryffindor, I'm not allowed to make fun of the other houses.
I feel like that wouldn't stop you, but sure.
I might make fun of certain people in those houses.
All right, fair. And now that we've done that, it is time for the segment that everyone is waiting for.
Yes, I really feel like this is... People who listen to our show actually only listen for this part.
That's okay. What is it, Jeremy? What time is it?
It is time for The Fun and Terrible Life of Chester Dobby McMillan Skywalker in trying to be the world's greatest chef of all time.
And where we last left Chester was his beloved stove on the curb, the metal collection truck approaching. He yells for his sister Zoe to create a distraction. He's using her. And the guy driving the metal truck is the guy that she... What did she do?
She has a crush.
Prom.
No, she has a crush on him from high school.
She has a crush on him. And he didn't remember her name, but he fell in love with her instantly at first sight at the metal collection truck. So, would you like to start?
Yes. With the truck driver stalled, Dobby ran into the house.
Stop calling him by his middle name.
Chester. I see Dobby in my head when we talk about this character. Chester ran into the house to grab what he needed for his plan.
All he had at his disposal was 75 pieces exactly of unchewed bubblegum and one of those scooters from PE class. You know the scooter that I'm talking about? Yeah. And one banana left over from his sister's foiled attempt to get the stove taken away.
He threw his tools into his knapsack and snuck out to the truck.
Zoe was still flirting very heavily with the driver of the truck, twirling her hair in one finger and batting her eyelashes so furiously that they might fall off at any moment.
The driver began to stumble over his words.
In fact, he wasn't making any sense at all. He was saying things like, what, where, I, who, how?
While he was distracted, Dobby got to work. Chester.
Chester got to work. Should we leave it there?
Sure.
All right. Chester got to work.
So find out what happens next. Tune in to our next podcast. Make sure you, that's all the time we have for today. Make sure you remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.
And follow us on Facebook now.
I'm Jeremy Lynch.
And I'm Lauren DeVries. And this has been the Doughnut Revenge Podcast.
Doughnut Revenge.